Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the 74th Emerging Growth Conference and day 2 of our 2-day super virtual investor conference. I'm Anna Berry. Today we're running until about 5 p.m. Eastern. When we switch to the next company, you might see a black screen for a moment. Don't go anywhere. It's just us moving over to the next presenter. If you do experience downtime, refresh your browser, and our platform works best on Google Chrome. All of our conferences are uploaded to the Emerging Growth Conference YouTube channel, so please subscribe, youtube.com/Emerging Growth Conference. Now, today, during each company's presentation, you, our viewers, can submit questions through the webcast module, and we will attempt to address as many of these at the end of their presentation. And one last note, after today's event, you'll be redirected to the registration page for our next conference, so please stay on or come back to reserve your spot early. Let's begin today with SunCar Technology Group. It trades on the NASDAQ under the symbol SDA and develops and operates cloud-based platforms that seamlessly connect drivers with a wide range of auto services and insurance coverage options through a nationwide network of sales partners. Happy to welcome its San Francisco-based international GM, Breaux Walker. Welcome to the conference today, Breaux.
Thank you, Anna. I really appreciate it. Very happy to be here.
All right, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. I know it's particularly early on the West Coast where I'm based, so I really appreciate you attending. I also wanted to congratulate the other presenters at the conference. I've had a great conference. I don't know about everyone else, but I've listened to some very interesting presentations. So I really wanted to congratulate all the other companies and thank them for joining as well. Given that I'm the first up this morning, I feel really fortunate that SunCar has such an exciting and easy to understand story and opportunity in front of us. I wanted to start off things maybe lightly, something you'd normally do on a late Tuesday night or Thursday night with a trivia question. And that is, what do you think there are more people in the United States or cars in China? And I led you by saying it's self-serving. Well, there's actually more vehicles in China than there are people in the United States. And so we're really excited about the size of our market opportunity and the fact that per capita auto ownership in China is still less than a third of what it is in the United States. So we feel like we've got a tremendous opportunity in front of us, and we are really excited to share with you the opportunity that we have. I just go through quickly the safe harbor here and move into our company profile. So as I just mentioned, we have a massive auto market in China, continues to grow. But besides just its core growth, there's a lot of really exciting dynamics in the market that really help our story and help our marketplaces thrive. The overarching, the first point is that China's auto market is digitalizing very rapidly. And that's really important because China's other industries have, it's lagged China's other industries, the banks, the retail or e-commerce. I think those stories, whether it's Alibaba or Jingdong or Ant Financial, there's been a lot of press about those industries digitalizing. China's auto industry is really catching up, and we're riding that wave. I was fortunate enough to be involved with the fintech revolution in China 12 years ago, and I see a lot of similarities with what's happening in automotive in China today. So that gives me a lot of reasons to be, and us a lot of reasons to be excited. Our business is about digitalizing the industry, about creating this digital and highly technology-driven marketplace, and so that trend is really good for us. And China's auto market also continues to mature, and that's really good for us. As cars get older, they need more servicing, and as drivers get more mature in the way they view their vehicle and how that vehicle gets treated, that's also really good for us. When you buy a new car, I think any of us maybe remember when we were younger or whenever we had our first car, you're really focused on the vehicle, not as much the servicing of it and not as much sort of the total cost of ownership. and maintaining it. But as China's car owners sort of mature and they focus more and more on that as well as the vehicles aging. So there are a lot of great trends that we're riding that are giving us a lot of tailwind for our business. So really excited to talk to you about those today. With that, I'll launch right into this my presentation. So SunCar is not a new company. We've been around for 17 years, roughly, and we have a huge, as I mentioned, a huge addressable market. I doubt I need to convince anyone on this call that we have the car market in China is large. Whether it be our insurance business or our auto services businesses, which I'll explain in a moment, it's a massive TAM that we're dealing with. We have established blue chip customers who are very hard to gain, whose trust it's very hard to earn in China in particular. If you think it's difficult to sell to the Bank of America here, you really should try selling to the Bank of China over there. It's very hard to earn their trust. And not only are we earning their trust, but we're expanding rapidly within these blue chip customers. We have consistently grown the business even during the very challenging years of the COVID lockdown, where an industry like ours, transportation, broadly speaking, automotive, would be highly impacted. We continue to grow, but as we come out of the COVID lockdown period, we are back to and exceeding our growth prior to COVID. Clearly the EV revolution in China and all of the innovation that is going on there is a part of our story. We are not specific to EVs. Our marketplace covers both EVs and ICE vehicles, which I'll speak about a little bit later. So we're definitely not exclusive to EVs, but we have strong partnerships with NIO and XPeng and BYD and many others. And those have been great relationships for us and will continue to be. But the ICE part of the business, the deals like SAIC, which we've signed recently, and others, we're also really excited about because, as I said, our marketplace is not specific to EVs. It covers all vehicles and is about really the digitalization of the auto industry, broadly speaking, auto services industry, broadly speaking, in China. Our technology and marketplace, again, have been built up over many, many years, creates a very significant moat for us. We don't see any direct comparables in the market that can cover all of China with the many services that we cover. And that's really critical when you go to approach a Bank of China or a BYD or an SAIC. They're going to ask you those questions, inspect your technology stack as they have ours. And if everything doesn't pass muster, they definitely will not be partnering with you. The risks are very high to them, again, higher than even if you were to go and seek a partnership with Bank of America or General Motors here. So our marketplaces cover we have two types of marketplaces, core marketplaces. The first marketplace is a marketplace for auto services, which we sell to large corporates in China who use it as a loyalty customer churn reduction tool. These are companies who are facing cutthroat competition, whether it's in the banking sector, where we have many of our customers, telecoms, automotive, of course. These industries in China are cutthroat, as you can imagine. And any loyalty tool, any tool in their toolkit that the marketers can use to improve customer loyalty is incredibly valuable to them. Our origin story, our founder came from digital marketing. So we really understand the pain points of those customers. And that's really was the original vision to move beyond digital marketing, which the founder was doing prior and sold a very successful company in that space prior to SunCar, to move into the digitalization of the entire services value chain in China. And so by targeting that pain point, we really are delivering a very high level of customer appreciation, loyalty to our customers, who are people like Bank of China, as I said, and many of the auto manufacturers who are also facing, as you've probably read recently, incredible competition, and especially in the EV sector and others. So our auto services marketplace really services those large corporates. They are able to issue a card to their members and the preferred customers they choose to put on the network for them to be able to use and access our services network. The auto services sector in China is not the same as the US. There are many differences. There are more challenges. There is no AAA in China, for example. And so the customers really appreciate the fact that we have a cloud service driven by a mobile app that gives them access to any and all auto services from that app. We cover over 300 services now. It's very comprehensive. It saves them a lot of time, very efficient. So this loyalty tool is very, very invaluable to our customers, which is why we're expanding so rapidly within our banking customers, within telcos, and then within the automotive industry, of course, as well. Our second marketplace is an auto insurance marketplace. Having built this network of over 40,000 auto services providers in China, we are utilizing that network to sell insurance, and we receive commissions from our over 90 insurance partners by selling that insurance. Our auto services suppliers and that network benefits obviously from a cross-sell or upsell ability and their ability to sell insurance. We spent many years innovating a technology that allows, for example, a tire shop or a car wash, any number, any one of our many suppliers and types of suppliers to be able to sell auto insurance to their traditional customers simply using the license plate of the vehicle. And that process had to be made very simple, very time efficient, because clearly those end users didn't go to the tire shop to buy auto insurance. But the fact that we've made it seamless and the fact that we've given those traditional auto providers the ability to do so is obviously they're obviously receiving that very well. The virality of that solution is very high because they speak to other of their either branches, or if it's a chain store, or other people in the market saying, why don't you sell auto insurance? You have the customer there. And so once they're educated on that, our solution is very elegant for that market. So we have two marketplaces primarily. Thirdly, I would say we have an up and coming SaaS technology sector that we're really excited about. It's still emerging, but our technology stack is really very effective and efficient for auto services providers to manage their business. They've never had, and there is no dominant SaaS provider for this segment of the market in China. We're very excited by the uptake of this, and it's been really comprehensive. It hasn't just been the auto services companies. We see dealerships now who, of course, were doing some level of service themselves, but they realize that the outsourcing this and when they see a differentiated and very powerful technology stack, they're choosing very quickly to outsource this to us and to have SunCar manage it as a SaaS or cloud service. So it's emerging, but we see great opportunity to digitalize these auto services businesses, help them be more efficient. And certainly, China's economy these days is having is not growing as quickly as it was. So that again benefits SunCar to the extent that we are a very efficient technology first, mobile first solution that takes cost out of the chain, and it also drives their ability to drive more revenue and to make more to have higher profits. So in terms of the consistent long-term revenue growth, as I said, we've grown throughout our history. Even during the COVID lockdowns, it was an extremely challenging time for many sectors in China. The lockdowns in China were much lengthier and much more severe in terms of limiting people to people's mobility. In spite of that, we continue to grow. And really, that's just a testimony to our unique technology the moat that we have around it, the fact that the industry previously was very manual, very inefficient, and our solution was coming along, which just really helped and benefited, all members of our marketplace, whether it be the customer side, Bank of China, or an auto shop, or the end user. It was a win-win-win, and we were in the middle of it. So even during COVID, we grew, but obviously coming out of COVID, we're back to steady state / increased growth. So talking about just the markets, I don't need to really emphasize the fact that our TAM is massive, combined, 150 billion. The growth is still very strong. But what's not reflected in this slide is the growth in the digitalization of the market. It's a harder number to capture, but our data points when we have dealers and companies like SAIC, the largest auto manufacturer in China, coming to us or Tesla China and asking us, please, can you help us digitalize our dealers? Please, can you help us digitalize and can you take this service and help us and put it on SunCar's platform? Those are trends, really positive trends that weren't happening maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Part of that is the maturing of the industry. The other part, I think, is as the economy starts to slow, people, every one of these players are looking to become more efficient. And as the most efficient player in the market, they often are seeking SunCar. So that's a great trend that we will continue to see grow. So we have 90 or so insurance partners now. Our coverage of the market is really complete, I would say, unless someone has a very, very niche or specific issue or situation. But we have, we're integrated with all of the major insurers in China. Gives us the ability to give a very accurate quote and the lowest quote possible, again, to these customers who are getting their tire changed, getting a car wash. I think this application is really globally relevant and something that, at least in my case, I see as being really beneficial to me. If I had the ability to multitask and compare insurance while I was doing some of the many other things I seem to be doing with my vehicles, that would be very value added to me. And we spent a lot of time innovating this, integrating this technology, integrating into the back-end databases. And so this is a real moat that we have around our insurance business. And again, everyone wins in this. The insurance companies are obviously elated about this new sales channel. The service providers could never have thought that they would have the ability to sell insurance and benefit from that. So they're very happy. And then the consumers, obviously, as they get more and more educated about things like comparing insurance, this is something they wouldn't have done. They wouldn't have thought to when they maybe bought their new vehicle and the insurance either came with a vehicle or it was just positioned to them like, just buy this insurance or pick this company. Now they're much more savvy. They're comparing insurance just like they're comparing service providers. The more that China's drivers, more sophisticated they become, and the more they understand about sort of the total cost of ownership of a vehicle, the better off SunCar is. And that curve is just really, is really getting steep now as they start to really look for those things. So about our auto services market, we have, great momentum in growth in this market. Our customers who are really people like Bank of China, as I said, or NIO or Tesla China that really want to increase their customer loyalty, improve the experience around their product. In the case of an automotive manufacturer, are really loving our service. It's really additive to them. It's something in many cases, or in some cases, they may have tried to do or parts of it on their own in the past, and it did not succeed. So the fact that we're pan-China, the fact that we have 300 plus services, this is really critical to them and is really critical to the moat that we've created in our business. It took a long time to get to where we are. It's not easily replicated by anyone else. But the testimony to its uniqueness and value add is the expansion that I'll talk about in a second within our customers. So you can see the services we cover. This is a very small, sort of snapshot of those. The industry before, I'm sure you can imagine, our auto services industry is not particularly efficient in the United States. In China, it wasn't previously particularly efficient either. A lot of manual processes, a lot of paperwork and paper invoicing and of that type of stuff that we still have even here. There was very low digitalization, and whatever existed might have been on a very a PC based and not networked, certainly not in the cloud, and not including all of the services that SunCar covers. So I probably, I don't need to spend too much time explaining what that prior process entailed, because it's very similar to the United States and how that worked with a lot of paperwork and sort of inefficient processes and the inability to find service providers as well. I will say that there is in the United States market, we have things like Yelp. Again, we have AAA. There are some aids that we have out there and digital aids that we have to sort of make the process a little bit better. Those don't really exist in China. So you can imagine without some of the services that we do rely on. I seem to use AAA way too much. I wish I didn't, but but that doesn't exist in China. So the value of our having digitalized those services, put them in a mobile app, which Chinese consumers are very mobile first, as I'm sure most of you on the call know. And so being able to connect all those services under a single cloud and have them driven by a mobile app is of extremely high value to these consumers, even much higher than it would be in the U.S. And I think in the U.S. it would be also very valuable to have a tool like this with all the services in a single app, what we call kind of sort of super apps they call in China, and those are starting to evolve in the U.S. As well. So our moat, as I've mentioned, and I'll talk a little bit more in a second, is the geographic coverage. We're in every Chinese province. We have every conceivable auto service available. We have a very elegant technology stack that has been built over many, many years. And that just all leads to excellent customer experience to, from the bank side, from the customer side, from the service provider, the fact that everyone's on the same page and that there's transparency, efficiency, and really strong information flow. Obviously, for a marketplace, that's really, really key. So this is some of the features of the app. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but again, having an elegant mobile-first experience is really critical in China. The level of patience for the consumers there is very low in terms of your application, your marketplace. Their expectations have been set years ago by the banks, by people, like Alibaba, like Ant Financial. The consumers are expecting a very elegant digital and mobile-first experience. That's what we've been able to deliver. If not, we wouldn't have companies like Bank of China or China Telecom expanding, or branch managers within those companies telling other branch managers about our solution. So it works very well. The Bank of China uses this as a very important tool in their kit to improve loyalty. And to the extent that no one's ever thought about doing this, or has, let alone has done it in terms of leveraging the automotive experience, that asset class, as a loyalty tool, it's really, again, found money for them. It's a benefit and a tool that they never thought they would have or could have. So when they find it and they see, I can take advantage of this, the customer's sort of automotive, a big part of their lives, which is their car and all of the services, the expenses that go around that, they really appreciate it. And that's why we're expanding so quickly in those customers. So this is just a picture of the cloud and the technology platform. Again, we're a marketplace. We connect these large corporations in China with the service providers. A lot of technology in between, but the end result is that the users and the drivers in China reap massive benefits from this technology, from this marketplace, and that benefit then accrues to our customers, who are these corporates that are buy our services. Same thing I said earlier. The real validation of our platform is that these customers, one, they're very particular to begin with. So even just getting into a Bank of China or a PICC or any one of our other customers is very, very challenging. If you think about any of you trying to sell the Bank of America or Verizon or some one of these large corporates, it's very hard. But the real testimony is the expansion that we're seeing in these customers, and the fact that they are, they're encouraging that from the top down, encouraging their branches, encouraging their regions to use SunCar's marketplace. These are just two examples. I mentioned them briefly, that our largest banking customers, who we've had for quite a number of years now, have close to a decade, continue to expand, and they continue to talk about the benefits to their fellow branch managers, fellow regional managers, and that expansion and land and expand is really critical to our strategy. Now, this is a bit of the tech stack, and just in the interest of time, I won't spend a lot of time on it, but we have, very advanced technology. We've been investing in it for many years. It's not something that can be easily recreated, and we feel like it's a very strong moat, but all of it's driven by our deep understanding of the industry. I just want to go back to that our founder and the team were already working in the automotive industry prior to founding SunCar. That's many years of expertise, relationships, knowledge about what this industry's pain points are. So on the insurance side, our insurance business growing, close to 80%. We are in the 70s, mid 70s. This business is growing dramatically because of the technology I mentioned earlier that is allowing for our traditional auto services suppliers to sell the insurance. That's a big driver of it. I think at the same time, the market is really, as I said, maturing. Consumers or the drivers themselves are really keyed in to auto insurance as being one of the key expenditures that they have. And as budgets tighten a bit in China, that's only beneficial to SunCar. As the economy tightens in China, our solution, the ability to compare quotes, I think everyone knows as economies, when growth starts to slow, everyone starts to look for ways that they can save money. And certainly having 60,000 insurance sales channels out there and providers out there gives us a great way to reach out to those consumers who are now much more concerned about their expenditures than they were, say, 5 years ago, especially 10 years ago. That really benefits SunCar, and that the ability to have them compare within 2 minutes their auto insurance and potentially get a lower rate. So this is part of sort of the before and after, I guess, how we've digitalized the process, how we've made it incredibly efficient and easy for our sales partners to sell, and then for the consumers to buy insurance. And I should say, just going back, all of it keyed off of the license plate of the vehicle. That's a solution that's not easy to do. It took a lot of work, a lot of database integration, a lot of technology R&D investment to be able to deliver that quote with just that information, with just the license plate. So that's incredibly key to getting these consumers to buy and to think about buying insurance from someone like a tires salesperson or at a car wash, et cetera, et cetera. This is our our partner platform. I described a bit about how it works, but you can imagine how it works in terms of you are at a tire shop, you're getting your car washed. Essentially, you're killing time, and you would love to have that time be more valuable. Certainly, lowering your car insurance, really doing anything with that time other than sitting there and looking at your phone or whatever you're doing is really valuable. So the uptake and the consumers really appreciate it. If they didn't, our service providers would not be selling it as they are. So this is some of the metrics driving our business. We have more used vehicles. New vehicle growth continues as well. But as vehicles get there's more used, more aging. The business continues to grow, and so insurance becomes a much more important part component, I should say, for the drivers in China for a variety of reasons. Our technology stack, as I said at the bottom, is also growing because we're allowing these auto services companies to be more efficient and to manage their businesses more toward higher profitability, which clearly they love. So these are some of our partners. Many of them companies you'll know, from NIO to Tesla to Xiaopeng and many others. We announced a new partnership with SAIC. So we're not just in the NEV market. We're seeing incredible uptake on the ICE side. They realize our digital solution is really good for them, really good for their profitability and their customers. So we expect many more announcements like SAIC based on conversations that we've had. And we're excited about not just EVs, but the entire market digitalizing and our position in it. So this is, I've spoken to a bit of these opportunities, but we see our solution, again, applicable in other markets besides China. We think the ability, just personally and anecdotally, being able to compare my, in auto insurance while I'm getting some other service done is really highly valuable. We're a $1 billion plus market cap company. We're not a new company. We've been around for many years. Revenues 2023 were $364 million and growing close to 30%. So we are a very established company. We're not, new players. We're listed on the NASDAQ, ticker Sam David Alpha SDA. We continue to grow very rapidly, and we are investing in that growth judiciously, and including our globalization plans, which we're really looking forward to, and taking our technology stack and globalizing that where it's appropriate. Thank you for our EBITDA, adjusted EBITDA. We went to a positive in 23, and again, continue to invest in the growth, but we are also very judicious with our investments, and we'll continue to do so. Thank you, everyone, for your time today. We look forward to follow-up questions from the audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Breaux. We appreciate you coming on the conference and this thorough presentation. We do have lots of questions for you. We'll send them to you so you can follow up on your own, but please come back and join us on the conference again.
Thank you, Anna. Really appreciate it.
All right, everyone, stay right there. We'll be right back with BioxyTran.